Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Coffee Talk, Hibiscus and Butterfly. If you did not see the previous episode, you can watch it right here, including the playlist of Midnight Chillings, because this is a Midnight Chilling series, so that just means it comes online in the midnight. So that's also a very important detail, that if you have to sleep, if you feel tired and you need to sleep, go to sleep, because sleep is important. You can always watch this in the morning, you know? So yeah, welcome back to the Evening Whispers. Today is Thursday, September 28th, 2023. New image recognition tech confuses gnomes with dwarves. A review. Whoopsie, that's not good. Robots asked to give ultimate advice. Elven burnout is real. Here's how to avoid it. Does Bailey maybe have a elven burnout? You never know. Either way though, let's start today. First check my phone. That's what we always do. From the bottom up. A girl always has her secrets. Top of the morning to y'all. I hope you're feeling awesome. Just spent almost 2 hours checking on the mobile games in the App Store. The amount of copycat games is just staggering. No delivery today. We'll resume tomorrow. Whoops. Then we obviously also have the Evening Whispers. On Top of the Ferris Wheel by Ralia Ahmed, September 28th, 2023. It was finally our turn to ride the Ferris wheel. She grabbed my hand tight, excitedly pulling me into the faded pink gondola. Her small hand felt cold on my skin. Before, it was warm. The slightest touch of it used to warm my universe. It used to excite me, but when she pulled me into the seat beside her, it felt cold. I knew I was the one who had changed. I was the one who could no longer feel her warmth. The Ferris wheel finally moved. She started at the lake beside the wheel as we went upward slowly. The Ferris wheel is amazing, right? I feel like it's taking us to a world separate from our own. A world for just the two of us, She began a conversation. I replied with a faint smile. Hey pretty boy. She began a conversation. I replied. She began a conversation? I replied. Hey pretty boy. Hey pretty boy. Want in on a secret? I love you. Her smile was so sincere. It was painful to receive those words. I didn't say anything. I couldn't say anything. She didn't wait for a reply. A long silence passed as she turned back to the scenery laid on the other side of the window. I knew she was hiding her face from me. The Ferris wheel was halfway to the top now, still climbing ever so slowly. I tried to find the words I wanted to say to her. What's the softest way to break someone's heart? We reached the top of the Ferris wheel when it stopped, like it was supposed to do. For a moment, our time was frozen on the tip of the world. Hey, can we talk? Words finally found the courage to come out of my mouth. I know exactly what you want to say. You've been holding it in for months now, right? That same sincere smile, she should have kept that smile for someone who could love her as she loved me, not for someone who was about to break her heart. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I thought I was ready for this, but I was just pretending, huh? Silly, It's not. It's my fault. I'm sorry. She tried to fake a laugh. Her eyes were wet behind her glass, bedewed by her tears. You deserve someone better, not me. I'm sorry. Hey, can you pretend a little bit longer too? least not up here, please. I curse the universe for letting her love the wrong person. I curse myself for letting her love me. The Ferris wheel creaked, softly signaling its movement, this time downwards. Ooh. Jeez. Either way though. Good evening. Ah, welcome officer. Welcome. Hey Tycho. How are you doing? Officer? Oh. Sorry. My mind is kind of elsewhere right now. No worries. Work issues. What else? I'm all ears if you want to chat. You're a pal. I'm in a real bind, Tycho. What happened? Well, never-ending workplace issues aside, things are getting weirder by the minute and I'm feeling out of my depth. Are you talking about your recent patrols? Yeah. I've been analyzing the CCTV footage for the last couple of days. Oh, I see. How did that go? Did the cameras manage to capture anything? Yes and no. The infrareds got a couple of blurry things. They were enough. Turned a corner and disappeared. Could have been anything like rats or cats, but neither fits with what I heard on the scene. The footsteps, you know, the laughter. Huh. Come to think of it, it sounded more like giggles. Giggles. Can werebeasts giggle? Not that size, no. Even if they could, it doesn't explain the footsteps really. I see. So what's next? I have some ideas, but they're just mild theories at this point. In short, I'm stumped. You know, Tycho, I've been racking my brain ever since Miss Rihanna dropped that bomb about the fairies, you see? Oh, what about them? As it turns out, fairies was an umbrella term for many types of beings. Anything that didn't fit the known physical rule at the time was to be referred to as such. Oh, Does that mean banshees were a part of the fairy folk? Huh, probably. Not anymore though. It's an ongoing process, but the list is getting shorter. But back then, any sentient being that was even remotely incomprehensible was considered that. And that includes apparitions. Apparitions. Yes. Apparitions like ghosts. 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 I see. What do you mean I see? Doesn't it sound like a bad joke to you? I'm not sure if I follow. But come on, ghosts don't exist. Do they? Because if they do, all I can think about is a damn tree now. Alright, the tree, yeah. Does that mean it's haunted? It could be? Don't get how you can be so calm about this. Huh? What? Well, why wouldn't I be? I mean, there have been all sorts of customers here. Some of them are so out of this world even. Sometimes literally. You're right. I guess you're not the one who's being weird here. Don't say that. Everyone has their own peccadillos. True that. If you don't mind telling me though, may I ask a reason why you're so afraid of ghosts? Gosh, no. That's a long story. Not something I'm ready to talk about. Anyway. That's understandable. All you need to know is that my fear was never caused by actual ghosts. Oh? Suggestions is a very powerful thing, Diho. But that's all I'm willing to share for now. Okay, thanks for sharing. You know, it's funny. My grandpa was very into this stuff. So is my daughter. They're like my opposites, very curious and fascinated by the unknown. Not that I'm not, mind you. It's just with my time as cop and all, unknown variables usually mean trouble. I see, that makes sense. They're kind of the people who could see things from nothing. And I mean that is in the best way possible. Like, you know, the Zen rock garden thing from Japan? They understand the zenness of it. I don't. But that doesn't stop me from thinking it's chill, you know? I think you almost got it. Yeah. But I'm sure he and my daughter could talk about it for hours. Too bad he passed away before she was born. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't be. Life just continues and lives keep on continuing. On that note, Tigo, you've seen my lighter, right? I'd say I'm pretty well acquainted with it for now, yes? My bad. That thing was originally my grandpa's. He bought it sometime after the war ended. It was to commemorate the upcoming new era, he said. In more ways than one. He got honorably discharged due to a severe leg injury he'd never be able to recover from. At the time, he was living right across the street from the former town hall. For obvious reasons, he couldn't walk far. So it was a good location for him with all the veteran support nearby and all. Right. Now about that street. You see, my grandpa liked to chat. Never liked being alone, that guy. Plus, he pretty much hated his bleak room. So sometimes he'd go and hang out with the street vendors in front of this place. There were all kinds of beings there, along with their pets from all walks of life. That's why he had a lot of stories about the craziest things. I see. You see, the street names just came to my mind last night. Can you take a guess what it is? You mean Burn Street? It wasn't called that before, that's why the whole thing didn't click for me straight away. But I went through his files and checked it out. Does that mean the vendors he was talking about? Bingo. And you know what? He bought the lighter there. Whoa, what a coincidence. Are you sure it's the only coincidence? What do you mean? Come on. Ain't no way they're just coincidences, Tigo. Everything is lining up too perfectly if you ask me. Uh-oh. Think about what's happened so far. It was my team that found out about the vandalism before they dumped the whole case on me. Then my car was hit out of everyone's. Right. Then my luck started tanking. The broken mug, the van, the black cat. Just tons of weird stuff happening in the past week alone, you see? Right. Then one thing led to another. My team was chosen to lead the investigation and tell me who is in charge of this case. Me. Then there's the Banshee lady, your patron, with some information I wouldn't have thought of. The dead tree stuff, the fairy market. Information I wouldn't even have remembered on my own. Right. And now we know why I kept on losing my lighter, right? How are they not connected? Tell me. Well, if you list them all in order like that, I'm telling you, the place is calling for me. The case is made for me. But they really picked the wrong guy. I'm just real bad at dealing with spooks. They make me question everything I've ever known, you know? But I've always thought you're pretty good at handling ambiguity, officer. Not when it comes to the supernatural stuff. Because we don't know enough about what's real and what's not. What will they do? Will they hurt us? Do they bring bad luck, good luck? What's the truth? Who knows? Maybe you should take a day off and catch up on your sleep. Huh? What's that? No, nothing. You know, another patron of mine suggested the documentary to watch. Yeah. The focus was on interesting drinks from around the world. You could find everything from the mundane to the extreme. From local comforts to really special stuff. And I kept thinking of one particular drink might interest you. Oh? It is something like a protection drink. It's made of coffee, honey, lemon and a slew of other ingredients. Huh? Protection from what though? From evil spirits and bad luck, I think. Maybe it'll help ease your mind a bit? Ah, gotcha. But Tigo, even if the whole situation is haunted, there shouldn't be any evil spirits. Right? I wouldn't know, but I might need your lighter. What for? Well, the drink needs to be lit up. I just think your lighter might give it the extra magic boost it needs, compared to just a regular flame, I mean. Huh. What are you going to make me anyway? Nah, I trust you. Here. Officer Georgie's lighter. It exudes an interesting feel. Exudes. Okay, then make me this magical drink you've learned, Tigo. It was coffee, honey, and lemon, right? Yeah. Oh, do we have to do anything with it? Probably not. Do you know why the satires from France are more musical than ones from America? Because they have French horns. Sorry, not sorry. It was coffee, honey, lemon, right? I think so. Wamada. That's a very interesting drink. And I think we want to give this back to him. Oh, whoa. The drink does light up, huh? Yep, this is special just for you. So don't tell anybody. Roger that. Here you go. Oh, careful. Dang it, Tigo. This really is something else. You sure it's okay to drink? I have no idea. But I'll take my responsibility if anything happens. Huh. I'm just being silly, aren't I? Sorry for bothering you with all this stuff, Tigo. You even made me this crazy drink to make me feel better. Don't say that. I'm always happy to help however I can. Thanks, man. At least with crooks, you can actually deal directly with them, you know? Not the case with apparitions. Not with that attitude. A hard-boiled advice. Unlock a conversation with Detective McQueen. McQueen? Huh? Everything can be cut with a little elbow grease. Not actual elbow grease. I won't make that mistake again. McQueen? Is that you? Hello, Williams. It's been a while. Huh, it is you. The surprises just keep coming this week. Let me go over there. You two know each other? More or less. We were branch buddies. Branch buddies? Branch buddies. I feel like I meant to say branch buddies in that same serious tone. But I don't like to talk about it. I still get nightmares. I feel you. I wasn't sure if I were gonna make it out alive. We were truly the lucky ones. Without a doubt. I'll just take both your words for it. Good. Because I don't like to talk about it. So what brings you here, detective? Surely it's not coffee. Secret police reasons. I've not read the briefing yet. But enough about me. Tell me about your supernatural problems. Yeah. You need to bust a ghost? Oh. Well, busting might be a bit much. I was just talking to Tigo about getting over my fear of that stuff. And ghosts. Something like that. I'm weak against ghostly looking stuff. I get freaked out easily. For example, I admit, I got a little spooked by what happened on Bourne Street the other day. Ah, I remember that. I know very well that unchecked fear leads to prejudice. That's why it's a no-no in my book. It even pains me to admit that out loud. Sometimes the toughest case to crack is ourselves. Other times it's ghosts. How do you do it, detective? You're a cases man. I'd have probably lost all my hair by now if I were you. I try not to think about it all that much. And when I do think about it, I think, who else will do it? Nobody, that's who. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, once you get over the dead part, they're just like you and me. Luke, I remember this one case where you were investigating a haunted apartment. This lady, her husband, had recently passed away but wasn't moving on, if you get my drift. Real deadbeat couldn't take a hint. Anyway, we had to go in and exorcise the place, right? But the husband, he's caught wind and he's retreated into the basement. I won't get into the technicalities of it, but it's harder to get a ghost out of a basement or an attic. It's all about angles, really. I mean, I get it. That used to be his home and all his stuff is still there. It's hard, I get that. So I'm slowly going downstairs to try and coax him out. Bam! Next minute all his romantic music is playing and the whole place is lit by a spotlight. Basic sensory illusion, classic ghost trick. Then before I know what hit me, I'm sitting at this pottery wheel and he's behind me and... Wait, isn't this the plot of the 1990s film Ghost? Oh. Maybe. We had a movie night at work and I dozed off before it started. The story must have slipped into my subconsciousness. Riveting. Lamau? Another police. What? Okay. Hey, detective. Hey, people I don't know. Did you get your important errands sorted? I sure did. Duly. I can see the crumbs stuck to your face. That's just the rain. It's very breedly rain. They're feeling all over your top. That's blood from gunshot wounds. It healed up though. You're literally holding the receipt from the donut shop. That's why they pay you the big bucks, detective. So what did I miss? We're talking about getting rid of an Officer Williams' fear of ghosts. Hey. Ghosts? Yeah, you're afraid of them, right, Dooley? No idea. Never met one. We stopped the ghost riot. Ghosts aren't real. So you don't need to be scared of them, easy. There you go, I guess. Sorry, that wasn't much help. Nah. What you said, they're just like us. That's a good thing to be reminded of. Exactly, they used to be alive, just like us. As long as we don't try to eat, possessive, violently murder you, you should be fine. Very reassuring. Just talk to them. I feel their culture, listen to their issues and spectral wails. Treat them like any other person. See what's on the inside. Which should be easy since you can see through them. I thought you didn't believe in ghosts. It's best not to overthink anything he says. I certainly don't. Huh. Well, thanks for the advice. I think it'll help. Our pleasure. Now, Dooley, I think we should read that case briefing and find out why we're here. I already did. Oh. Turns out we were meant to arrest the person driving that taxi. Instead of taking it and all the way to Seattle, yes. Why? The driver was Chupu Cabra. Okay, let's get out of here, Dooley. Good luck, officer. Thanks, McQueen. A lot. You too, Officer Dooley. Bye, Guy. Good luck with your rat problem or whatever. Bye, Coffee Wizard. Take care. Ah, interesting. That was quite something. Well, what do you know, Ticho? Looks like my good luck is back. I'm feeling like $1,000,000 now. I'm very glad you do. Thanks anyway, Ticho. I really did nothing much. Are you going to be okay? Okay enough to start thinking about what to do next? I'm done here for the night. You have a good evening, alright? Please keep me updated, officer, and stay safe. Will do. This spell-laden alcohol-imbued Galician drink is known to ward off evil spirits. Just look at it. Alright then, maybe I'll go check the stock and... Miss Rihanna, welcome! Hello. How's the traffic out there? It's a mess. There's construction work taking place on Leonora Avenue. Oof. I can imagine the gridlock already. Fortunately, I have no deliveries to make today. That's great, I'm happy you're here. So anything I can make for you this evening? I'd like something for my throat. I would appreciate a cup of tea infused with some lemon and a touch of honey. Touch of honey, lemon, tea, lemon, honey. Okay. Midsummer Night's Dream. I think we have served this earlier, right? Yeah, we did. Definitely. Oh, Georgie, probably. No, Rihanna. Singer Groover, part-time. A cup of warm Midsummer Night's Dream for you, miss. That's what we call it here. Wow, how whimsical. It's wonderful. Sweet but well balanced with the lemon and the slight bitterness of the tea completes the taste. Thank you. You're so very welcome. By the way, you just missed Officer Georgie a few seconds ago. Is that so? How is he? He's been thinking about what you said quite a bit actually. Oh? He's currently dealing with plenty of clues he isn't used to. That's why he's hard at work at the moment. I see. Would you mind doing me a favor? Oh, what do you need? Could you give me my contact information to him? We only connected via Bluetooth last time, so... Oh? Email address and phone number are written on it. It belongs to Rayona Shiren. Piece of blue card with an email address, yeah. What I said a few days ago may have been a bit overwhelming. It is possible that I spoke more than was necessary. All because I couldn't help but feel a pang of bitterness knowing what happens to the tree. That's entirely understandable though. But it is not my intention to interfere with his work. As such, if he requires any assistance, please do let me know. It is the least I could do. I realized there would be plenty of difficulty obtaining information. Oh, I mean, because Officer Georgie is human. And we semi-physical beings have our own way of sharing information as such. I understand what you mean. Okay. I just do not wish to incriminate anything or anyone. It's fine, I get it. I'm glad. I'd say you've already helped him out in more ways than one. Sorry, did you say something? I was zoning out a little. No, nothing. I'll pass this off to him. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Bad traffic aside, how are you? I'm... To be honest, I've had a lot on my mind late. And I don't know how to express it without sounding pathetic. You know I'm all ears. That may actually be part of the problem, I'm afraid. Pardon? You know, I've held conversations with more individuals over the past week than I have in the past few years. Is that a good or a bad thing? It's troubling. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't mean it necessarily in a negative way. It's just, I used to believe that I had a settled life objective. But I have been doubting it lately. How come? I finally heard back from Miss Rachel yesterday. Any good news? No. Our fields are admittedly quite different, so I was not expecting much. However, she provided me with some contacts who may be of assistance. I'm gonna drink a little. I suggest you also drink a little bit of water. So, be right back. Alright, I'm back. Even though they had no direct connection to the audience I am trying to reach. I see. She explained clearly why she thinks I should contact them, however. Which I'm thankful for. That's very thoughtful of her. So, what's the battle plan? And why are you doubting yourself? In essence, in advice, is slowly to increase my network to make myself known. Oh? Sounds familiar, doesn't it? You can probably guess my concern about it. I think so, but you could give me a refresher, just so I don't misunderstand. I feel like that would be a shortcut, so to speak. Right. She did, however, remind me of an important and humbling fact. What would that be? Well... Oh, but it's not guaranteed you'll get anything out of it, don't you think? Unless you're really sure the so-called shortcut is 100% gonna work. Because you'll have to do way more than you just making a few calls and waiting for callbacks, you know? I'd say that's a decent impression of her. Thank you. After that, she told me a story about her early career experiences, both the good and the bad. Getting noticed is truly only the beginning. And either a matter of letting your talent speak for you, or you go out there to develop connections with the right people. Even then, there's still no guarantee of success. After listening to her explanation, I respect Miss Rachel's determination. I can certainly see how it worked out for her. But then I was left wondering whether Mr. Lucas meant something similar during our first meeting. Right, I thought it all sounded familiar. Will you try your suggestion then? I don't know. Oh. Is it difficult? No more difficult than sending reels to every audition I've come across. And being rejected by every single one. But for some reason I feel conflicted about it. Speaking of Mr. Lucas, he and I have also continued our correspondence. Although perhaps it was more like a necessity. Did something happen? He was stuck. Pardon? Actually, he posted about it on social media last night. Oh? I might have seen it. No clue. Did you? I came across it when I was updating my schedule and responded out of concern. Then he called me almost immediately. He was loud. All sounds in order? And extremely drunk? Really? He denied it at first, but it was too obvious not to notice. He told me he was walking aimlessly deep in thought and entered Carrick Park without realizing he had done so. Must have been some deep thinking he was doing, because I think it rained pretty hard last night. Well, I wouldn't know. The bus to and from there is currently not operating after 10 PM. Which is why I sent him a message informing him that fact, as he seemed to be unaware of it. Right. So he called me to ask if there was any other mode of public transit nearby. Wouldn't it have been easier for him to just call a cab? He told me he wanted to know the city better. At midnight? Why not? After all, you operate your business after dark yourself. Touché. Perhaps in Egypt. Excuse me. He just didn't want to go home yet. And I might be mistaken here, but I thought he doesn't like drinking. Wasn't it partying? Nevertheless, I think last night was quite different. It appears he had dinner with his team, and he needed the extra courage in order to negotiate with them about his proposed new directions. Oh. I see. I suppose it didn't go as expected. Perhaps. And I know this feeling all too well. Yes. However, he said he will keep negotiating until they reach a compromise. That's good. Is it though? Miss Rachel told me about the hoops she had to jump through at the beginning of her career with the teammates as well. Likewise, Mr. Lucas has to work hard to obtain approval from his team for his actions. How can they still be so positive? What do you mean? I just cannot picture myself convincing others to give me a chance like that. I almost want to ask, why do we have to be at the mercy of others in order to succeed or fail? Can't talent speak for itself? But if I truly believed that, with the numbers of rejections I had received so far, I should have stopped a long time ago, shouldn't I? Right, that's why it doesn't work that way. What do you mean? To let talent speak for itself, we would all have to have the same standards. I see what you mean. Art would cease to be art if it were standardized, wouldn't it? However, doesn't that imply that everything still depends on the whims of individual judging you at the moment? How does someone like Miss Rachel or Miss Lucas manage to be fine with that? Perhaps because they don't see it as the be-all and end-all? What do you mean? Rather than viewing them as judges with their authority to determine their faiths? Perhaps they simply see them as hills to either overcome or avoid, if that makes sense. Just a matter of perspective as to where the power lies. But it's not easy to climb those hills, especially if you've never done it before. Therefore, it's good to try and find out what works for you, or ask for guidance or assistance even. Because one can't possibly know every single way to overcome obstacles, or be able to safely recognize warning signs without first learning about them from others. Is that what you're trying to say? Yes. I see. Still. Miss Rihanna? Yes? Sorry, I got a bit lost in my thoughts. You're fine, I promise. But speaking of Mr. Lucas, what happened to him after the call? I picked him up and drove him home. Whoa. But I thought you were located in Bellevue? I am. But I still had unfinished business in the downtown area. Moreover, he suddenly began singing quite loudly nearing the end of our call, which led me to conclude that it would be best for me to go and fetch him. I see. How was his singing in your opinion? It wasn't too bad. If not for the fact that he was screaming most of the lyrics, that is. Well, his hoodie was soaked when I arrived, so he had to take it off before getting into my car. Thankfully, the water did not completely soak through his shirt, so he remained relatively dry. However, I still had to lay down the seat covers as his fur got rather wet. Ah. Hope he didn't get sick then. Aside from all that, was he okay, considering the situation you mentioned earlier? I mean... Well, he happily asked me to do karaoke with him, which I declined. Probably for the best. Could have been entertaining though. I ended up taking him for a drive though, as I needed to take care of my unfinished business. A late night delivery? No, I was buying a pie. At midnight? Yes. Why is it concerned? You may have a competitor? No, not at all. Maybe a little bit. Oh, Tigo, you will be fine. I sort of want to know just so I can inform Officer Georgie about it. Oh, why? His daughter loves pies. When his car was vandalized, Officer Georgie had plans to buy pie for his family get-together. But the report took a while and the weather was bad. And by the time he was able to get the taxi, he thought everything was already closed. I see. But he takes pride in being in Seattle, so I wonder if he knows about it already. Well, it is a very small kiosk attached to a pub, very easy to miss. The spot is known as Disco Pie, and it serves fresh pies until 1 AM. Interesting, good to know. Getting back to the story though, you both went for pies then? Yes, and that seemed to fascinate him for some reason. What did you each get? He ordered a slice of warm apple crumble with a scoop of French vanilla ice cream on top. And a large cup of piping hot coffee with a little bit of milk. Ouch. I feel betrayed, truly. Oh, but it was my suggestion since I thought he needed to warm up. Double ouch. I apologize. I'll live. A little piece of advice though, a glass of warm water might be better for inebriated. Coffee is not the best at retaining fluids, as thus preventing hangovers. Oh, that's really good information to know. This is why you are the best barista, Tigo. Thank you. Okay, my feelings are hurt slightly less now. And what did you get for yourself? I had a slice of hibiscus blueberry mint pie myself. And just so you know, I did not order anything to drink. Good. Drinks aside, what an interesting combination for a pie. How did you like it? I enjoyed it. You serve hibiscus here too, don't you? I'll remember to order it next time. Please do. And so we continued our conversation afterwards. That was when he told me he had not given up on his goals despite the many disappointments with his team. He also told me why he does not drive at all. Really? Why? It is personal. On second thought, it might be better to hear the story directly from him another time. I apologize. No problem, I understand. We also discussed quite a few things we have in common. Really? Yes, surprisingly. And before we knew it, it was already nearing 5 AM. Must have been a gripping conversation. I am not sure. However, his exhaustion seemed to finally catch up with him then, so I drove him home. Weren't you tired as well? No. I should go now. Alright, will you be okay? I have a lot to think about. Thank you for being patient with my concerns, Tigo. No problem at all, anytime. Have a good evening then, Tigo. Come back again soon. Alright. We could have ended this at 28 minutes. And now it's a 50-minute episode. Alright, but ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching this episode, please like and subscribe. Do not forget to click on the notification bell. Come back tomorrow. And don't forget to come back tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And have a great night. Good night. Good night. Sleep tight. Bye bye. Have a great night. Until tomorrow. Bye.